Hello, welcome back to Seawolf's Den. I'm Crafting Ron. Started a project just on a whim, and I told you I'd get back to crafting, and this should be pretty quick. I've got a couple of bases that I had bought, and then I just handmade one out of a old CD, DVD, whatever it is, and I put an extra reinforcement. I cut using the CD as a pattern. I put a piece of particle board on top of it. I forget what that kind of cardboard is, but it's like in the bottom of drawers and stuff. So this was a backing of a shelf, and I cut it in a circle, and I glued it to the CD because the CD is a little more sturdier once I put glue down. Now I've got a dragon, I've got a massive wolf, and a stegosaurus. I know it seems random. Stegosaurus I'm going to use, but I found inside the box a wolf and this dragon, which is kind of plain looking. I got this on clearance and this on clearance. This at Walmart, this at the hobby store. It was either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And when they put stuff on clearance, it's still kind of expensive, but I still bought it just for fun. And I felt like that's plain looking, and so it's going to get painted. This is an alien egg from the Alien toys that you can get off of Amazon. I've got a bunch of these. I put it down just for fun, and I'm going to paint it up and make it look like a dragon egg. Everything's going to get primed, even the wolf. I'm going to redo the wolf paint, even though it's really not that bad. I'm going to put flock on all of these, and so I'm going to spray paint it and prime it. And then same with this. This is a dollar store Stegosaurus, and I'm going to use this in a game. Actually, a game I'm playing. I knew I had something about the size of what we have in the game. So on top of that, I had these extra little bits that are kind of terrain. They were dollar store dinosaurs as well, that I just rebased. Again, I pulled a bunch of stuff out of the box. I said, well, I'm gonna base these little dinosaurs too. So, and I felt like the paint was okay enough that I'm not going to repaint those. So they were on these, and I'm like, I saved these just for fun. So I'm going to put these down, probably enhance the terrain. So I don't put sand down on it. Put one down on here. I was going to use these, but there's just not enough room. These are from an army man set that you can buy at the dollar store. You're supposed to put your flag in there. I held on to them for terrain. Let's vary it up. Let's put this down, and that down, and I'll glue them down. So then when I put sand over top of them with glue, it'll be a terrain variance. So yeah, that looks like a little divot and all that, but I'm going to fill that in with some sand so it doesn't look so bad. All right, so here it is. These will be down, and then I'll put some sand down on top of them. I meant to mention that. Okay, so that's just one of the hobby stores dragons, dollar store Stegosaurus. The wolf, which I guess is going to be a Fenrir type wolf, is from, what was that movie called? Rampage, the Rampage toys. Of course, they had the ape, which kind of looked stupid, and I had the lizard. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Okay, so like I said, this is the toy series from the movie Rampage. And there was the white gorilla, which was apparently the good guy. It was with The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. I liked the movie, it was kind of cool. But my favorite one, and I bought the toy for this one too, and he's massive. He is absolutely massive. There's no basing this dude down. I actually have pulled him out in game. But this dude is massive. And he's the mutant alligator that was the big bad. And, yep. So, no base in him, but I have used him and I may use him again. But this guy was just difficult to hold, to put down. So I'm going to do what I'm doing here and base him and paint him up and make him look mean. I may do black, kind of a black wolf. That'd be cool. I may just leave the base on there. So I'm gonna go base these and then we'll go from there. All right, they based them. I primed them and based them already, and then I also put a wash on them. And this is kind of my stages. I kind of am not the best in the world, but I try to at least make it table ready, like I keep saying. Here is the wolf. I'm going with a gray look, a gray wolf. He's ready to be dry brushed and detailed. Not necessarily in that order. I'm not going to do him first. I started working on the dragon with kind of a red brown look instead of the black dragon that it was. I went for a red, and this is primed, base painted, and some dry brush. My intent is to eventually start detailing out some of these with a little bit more brighter red. Get his eyes and teeth and his horns. I may draw, paint the horns a little differently. Get his egg to make it look different. And then the ground has to be dry brushed and detailed a little bit more. That's not my goal at this point to finish. I want to finish this guy. And I base painted him a basic green with a lighter green underbelly. And it came out okay. I got to do the spinal plates, and I think I'm going to do those in more of a brown with kind of a pattern in them. And then I'm going to work on a dry brush that first just a general green dry brush, and then some other color dry brush to create some striations. I'm also going to do the ground with a simple dry brush. And then I see this hole, and I've got some aquarium plants that I can stick down there and make it look more natural. So it's one part terrain, one part miniature. And I got his mouth. His mouth's messed up because I hit it with some brown. So we'll have to. So he's still a work in progress. Not really going to paint on screen because that just takes forever, and it's not all that exciting to look at. I'll just show you the end result. You can find other videos on how to paint things. One thing I'm going to do, however, is something that I learned from DM Scotty, and for some of these, maybe all of them, if I can make this last, is make some pencil shaving ground. This is the perfect thing for some. I sharpened every pencil I could find in the house to get this much, and that'll probably last. I'll probably get them all. I just won't do a whole lot on each side. Well, DM Scotty does this, and he teaches it. A little bit of water, a little bit of watered down glue, and then mixed in with some kind of green. What I might use is actually, I will use the hunter green I have. For some reason, some of my plaid paints just liquefy, or it doesn't dry up, they just liquefy and then they dry up eventually. And so the hunter green I have that's almost out is literally liquefied, and I didn't put any water in it, which is weird. I've had that happen to another blue color. So I'm just gonna pour that in, maybe some other colors, mix it all in with the water and the glue, and then you just put it along the base as grass, and you use a old brush, or and you apply it. And I'm going to apply a little bit here and there to add some shrubbery. So order of that has to happen is I got to get the ground finished first, then put some of the grass down, let it dry, and you got to make sure it's not too much water, not too much, because then it's going to bleed into the ground and you don't want that. Let me see if I can do that. All right, I got my mixture of water, paint, and glue. And like I said, this came from DM Scotty. I'll put a link up to the video, very video, to do that. Yeah, you'll realize how little you have when this stuff starts to incorporate. You just don't want it to drip as you apply it. These brushes, I mean, I know they use, I have official dry brush. I don't want to use those. These are brushes, those that do resin printing. And you buy the resin. They come with brushes, and I've never really known what that's for. I'm sure somebody will tell me one day. But I use them for dry brushing. They're great for stuff like this. I mean, it's stuff that's not super detailed. All right, I'm using some terrain beige. That's usually enough for me to make it look like ground. All right, so that's the ground. I'll go with that. And then this is where it gets messy. All right, so that came out okay. I'm good with that. All right, let me get it all over your hands, but that's probably enough. All right, I'm gonna let that dry outside and then finish up the dinosaur itself. All right, I painted everything off camera, dry brushed and varnished everything, and these are a finished product. So the first one I was doing was the Stegosaurus, and so the extra pieces I threw in came out looking pretty good. You saw me on camera putting not just sand but also some aquarium stones on top of them to kind of give them a little more of a feature, natural look, that is. On the other side, the flag stand, the hole survived all the glue and stuff, so I decided to use it and stick a plant in it, an aquarium plant, and I stuck a big bead in the middle just because I thought it looked for a little bit more color. The pencil shaving grass looks great as far as I'm concerned. Did a little highlighting on that, and that is a finished product. On the other two, for one, the pencil shaving grass was running out, but it was also running all over the place. So I threw in some regular flock, and so it kind of did a good color variation on its own. Didn't really have to do much highlighting and dry brushing, but I on this wolf I did various light grays and made his eyes yellow. And the one thing I liked about it, I had this, I don't remember, I think this was a HorrorClix miniature that I had laying around. Took him off his base and made him look like a victim. His mouth still opens and closes, but I painted that, and I'm real happy with it. Turned out really well. Giant or gigantic, I don't know the scale, I have to come up, figure that out. Wolf, probably a Fenrir or something like that. Dragon and dragon egg came out real good. Intent was to do kind of a crossbreed of a red dragon and maybe a little hint of gold, and that came out pretty good, I think. I actually found another one of these
and that'll be in another project alongside something else. So there you go. 3 simple, cheap toys now on bases usable in any game. Until next time, seek the wolf in thyself.